Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video, a sit down chat. I'm sorry this is not going to appeal to everybody. I do realise that I do a lot of day in the life vlogs, but today I just wanted to do this video because I feel like when I was pregnant and getting prepared for delivering the boys, I wanted as much information as I can, and I know I get a lot of followers that are newly pregnant with twins or mid-pregnant with twins, and they're trying to process everything and get as much information as possible. So I thought this would be really nice for those people. So I'm sorry it's not going to appeal to all of you, but I got to change things up once in a while. Another reason I really wanted to do this video was because the boys are going to be one. I can't believe it. Literally a week after this uploads, I think. So a week today, basically, and that is mad. That is mad. It's gone so fast in one way and then so not fast in another way. Like looking back to when I was pregnant now, feels like so long ago. But then also I have such vivid memories of like August last year, this time last year, when I was so near to having them, and I was so nervous but so excited and all the feelings. And the worst part of it is that this pandemic, I thought would be way in the past now, and it's still hanging on tight, so that's the negative. But yeah, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Natalie. I've got twin boys that are about to turn one, and their names are Henry and Jack, and they were fraternal twins, even though they look very similar. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster. We've moved state and we've seen no family, so I'm going to talk today about the top 10 must-haves and essentials. Now I say that with a pinch of salt because I've picked 10 items that I feel were big purchases or things that I didn't think would be as valuable as they became. I will put pictures up. I was going to have them all here with me, but then I realized that some of them were just too big to even bring into this room. So I'll stick pictures up around me of the items that I'm talking about when I'm talking about them, so you all know and are clear. And I'll also try and link them all below in the description if you want to be taken to the websites and places that you can purchase the same things. So yeah, I hope some of you get some value out of this video, and for me, I know there was so much to buy. And I did do another video which I will link, which was newborn must-haves. Actually, I need to go back and watch that because I'd love to see what I'd said, but that was like 2 or 3 months in, so that's another thing. Some of these items you may only use for like 2 months, but so much so in those 2 months that it made it worthwhile. Anyway, I'll cover all that when I get to talking about it, but let's get started. So number 1, let's talk about things in the boys' bedroom first, because I've got a couple of things in there. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Hatch machine. Now we got the Hatch Plus, I think it's called, and it was worth $90, and to me that was quite a lot. I was like, what is this thing? It's just a night light and a sound machine, like why are we paying $90 for it? But oh my goodness, I'm really glad that we spent that $90 because that thing has been amazing. Obviously I don't have any other products to compare. It's not like I've bought other things and compared them. I'm just talking about what I've bought that I think was worth the value that I paid for it, and we got a lot of use out of it. The Hatch machine was something that I've used every single day since they were born. The white noise has been playing every night, all night. We use the night light just before they go to bed as part of their bedtime routine, and also there's some other like lullabies and things that you can play on there, and it tells the time, which is super helpful for me just so that I know what's going on and how long we've been doing stuff. And I do plan on using this thing for years because I feel like it can be the boys' nightlight when they're a little bit older and they're scared of the dark and things like that. So yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. We've also traveled a lot in Airbnbs, and we've traveled down from Seattle to LA, and we've taken it from house to house, and we've never had an issue with kind of restarting it and plugging it in. And we have lost power a few times, and that thing keeps going. Thank God, because the minute the sound machine stops, they wake up. So I've had nights where the power's cut out or reset, or we've had a power cut, and I've been freaking out. I'm like, how are the boys gonna sleep? We actually had a power cut when we were living in Seattle, and I was panicking. I was just like, how am I gonna know when they need to wake up and how long they've napped and things like that? And that was the one thing that I just knew would help them. They need to get to sleep. We were even like thinking we were going to have to use our phones or iPads, and then obviously the charge won't last long on those, so it does save up charge. I don't know how long that lasts, but I think it's a considerable amount of time, so that's very handy too. So the Hatch machine, it gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Definitely recommended. Very good, very useful. Next up is the twin feeding pillow. Oh my goodness, this thing was gifted to us. We put it on our registry, and one of Alex's colleagues bought it for us. And let me just say, this thing, it was like, I think it's about $100. And I thought, am I going to use it? Am I ever going to tandem feed? The thought of tandem feeding to me was so scary, and I didn't put any pressure on myself to do it. I don't think I even attempted to do it until 2 months in, maybe. But I soon realized breastfeeding the boys became very, very tiresome and very, very time consuming, and any way that I could make it quicker, I was willing to try. So there was one day I thought, right, let's just give this a go. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And it took me a while. It took me maybe a week, 2 weeks to really get down with it. And I don't think I used to do it through the night because it was a bit disturbing for the boys, so I didn't want to ruin their like kind of dozy, dreamy state. But I used it every day for the rest of the time that I breastfed them. I would always tandem feed in the day, and then when I didn't nurse them anymore and we formula fed, that thing has been a godsend. Like, I've placed them in it, fed them the bottles, and that was the only place that I would really find easy to feed them both. Holding a bottle is quite hard in chairs because you have to kind of bend over and lean over. The only time it started to become a bit tricky was, I would say, around 8-9 months, when they were really good at crawling. They first learned to sort of crawl around 7 months, but it took them a while to kind of get used to it and bomb off. And then the feeding pillow was no good to feed them on anymore because they would just roll off and crawl off. So we're not using it anymore, but I've definitely kept it. I still see other twin mums using this thing when their boys are much older or their children are much older, but mine are just crazy and they'll just run off. I probably could put it in the crib and put them in it and feed them that way, but we do just use chairs now. They drink their milk pretty quickly, so it's not too much of a bother. But that thing has been used to death, and I don't want to say that I'll keep it in case I have any more children, but I feel like I don't want to get rid of it, but I also would, God forbid, have twins again if I ever had another child. So I don't know why I need it, but it's handy. I feel like it could be used anyway with one baby to breastfeed. It's very comfortable and handy, so we'll probably keep hold of it. Okay, number 3. Let's talk about cribs. Now, this was a huge topic for me when we were shopping for the nursery and the boys. We went back and forth about getting a bassinet. Now, I've heard really good things about like the Halo twin bassinet and lots of other bassinets, and I am by no means telling you not to get one of those, but from my experience, it was so not needed, and I'm glad we didn't pour our money into one of those things. I know they're not cheap, and what we did was set up one of the cribs in our bedroom while they slept with us, and then once they were old enough to go into their own room, we just moved the crib. We did have to dismantle it and move it all back in, which is a bit of a performance, but it saved a lot of money. And I've been looking at some other videos and the pros and cons of having a bassinet, and one of the biggest things for me was I thought, oh, I don't want to have to get up in the night. Like, it would be so lovely just to like reach over and be able to grab the baby out of the thing next to me, or swivel it round, all this stuff that they do. But quite frankly, feeding 2 babies and trying to do it quietly, and especially if you're going to tandem feed, there's no way that you're not going to need to get up out of bed, in my circumstances anyway. And when I was nursing, there was so much drama going on. Like, I needed to put cream on because I was in pain, and I needed to do this and that, and I needed water, so I was always getting up. I never just like woke up in the night and fed them like from the bed and then went back to sleep. Like, the thought of that sounds incredible, but no, that was not part of my reality. It was always, I was awake for like an hour, and funnily enough, like, I was just so alert, especially at the beginning when they were sleeping in our room. There was no way that I wasn't already like up and out of bed like the minute I knew I had to feed them. It was almost like a panicky situation. Maybe because they were my first children, maybe it would be different if you had twins as your second or third child. So yeah, but in my opinion, it just wasn't worth it. The crib worked fine, and they were able to sleep in it for quite a long time until they were like bothering each other in it. I think we got to exactly 4 months, and then we moved them into their own room. So it was quite a long time for 2 babies. Okay, up next, what are we, number 4? Trying to think if there's anything else for the bedroom. Okay, the Docatot or the Snuggle Me. They're different brands of those like baby sleepy things. I think we got the Snuggle Me. We just got one. I would definitely recommend getting 2, but again, it's a personal choice. From our experience, we went through a couple of weeks where we were like, should we buy another one? This thing was a lifesaver to get them to sleep when they were just like having a hard time dozing off, or we just needed a break. They were so comfy in it. It was literally, we called it the Cloud. Me and Aled, we nicknamed it the Cloud. And we were like, let's get the Cloud every time one of them wouldn't sleep. But we were always trying to change up who was in it, and we wished we'd had two a lot of times. I don't know how safe they are to put babies to sleep in. That is a big controversial thing, but one of my friends who's also a twin mum, I know she had two of those in her crib and they slept in that, I think even through the night. We were always a bit scared to do that, sorry. We never let them sleep through the night in it, and also we only had one, but it was great as like a starter way to get them to drift off and then shift them over. Or when we went through like that 4-month sleep regression and we just could not get them to sleep, that was always a good way to kind of put them in there and rock it slightly or sing to them or whatever. We used it a lot. So yeah, looking back, that isn't a purchase that you're going to use for many months. I think they outgrew it pretty quickly. I want to say after like 3 months, maybe we couldn't use it anymore, but those first 3 months feel like, I mean, it's just a whirlwind, isn't it? So I would, if I was to go back now, I would have got two. I think it would have been really handy and really useful, and probably given us quite a few extra hours of sleep. Okay, next up is the chairs, the bouncers, the, what do you call them, the motion chairs. This was one thing I did not want to spend money on. I don't know why. I just thought that it was going to be quite a temporary thing. We're not going to use it that much. We were actually given one from the previous people that owned our house. I think we had a Mamaroo from them, and then we bought several cheap chairs that we could find. I think we got one from Target and we got one from Amazon. We probably spent like $30 on one. Oh my god, I've just itched myself and it's gone really red. I feel like I'm getting a rash. And we got one from Amazon, I think was about $20, and one from Target, which is about $40, and we're still using them today. This is the one product that I feel like I wish we'd spent money on. I know the baby Bjorn chairs a lot of people recommend and have, and going back I would have invested in getting those. They've used them so much, and now they're reaching that point where they're a bit unsafe in the chairs that we have, and I'm worried they're going to fall out. And I just feel like they were sat in them so often at the beginning. It would have been lovely to have something that was a bit more supportive and a bit more nice. So that was definitely something that I would have gone back and spent more money on. Yeah, we are still using them now. They drink their formula out of them, and I just sit there. They can hold the bottles themselves, but I do just sit there and monitor them, because they can easily just like decide that they want to get up, and they are so forceful and so energetic now that they would probably just fall out the chair or like fall out inside the chair, which could be pretty dangerous. So yeah, they're definitely worth spending money on. But again, I know people that some babies haven't got on with one chair and much preferred a Mamaroo or vice versa, so I don't know, but I do know that it's something that you will use a lot when you find the right one. So maybe get one and see how it goes, and then you can invest in a good one if it's working out for you. Next up is going to be toys. So as you all know, if you've watched my videos previously, I've done a few videos where I featured the Love Every toys and subscription boxes, and I am the biggest promoter of them. This is by no means an ad or paid or anything like that. I buy them all myself out of my own money, and yes, it's quite pricey. I think it's $80 a box, and you get a box every other month. It's every other month, but if you have multiples, it's definitely worth it because you're paying half. And these toys are pretty much all my boys have played with. I'm sorry, I feel like I need to block out some of this light. 1 second. Let's see, is that any better? No, still very bright. I'm sorry, I hope I don't watch this back and think it was too bright. But yes, what was we saying? Oh my gosh, the boys, they're still like 2 months after the box of new toys has arrived, they're still as fascinated by the toys as they were on day one. They absolutely love them, and I don't have to stress that developmentally they don't have the right toys, or they're not learning from them, or they're not interested. And also I don't have to worry about a toy being a hazard. So many toys I go to buy say 3 years and up. I swear, like all of them say 3 years and up, and then I just get worried that they're going to choke on something, or a part's going to fall out, or it's not suitable for them to like leave the room. And with these toys I never have to worry about that. It's absolutely lovely, and they just love them. They absolutely love them. And yeah, there's only like 5 or 6 things in each box, but it totally lasts, it's all they need, and they have so much fun playing with them. So it's definitely worth the money. I know there's some other Montessori inspired boxes, I think KiwiCo or something like that. I'm not sure if it's Montessori, but I've heard good things about that one too. So do shop around and have a look. But if you aren't sure what to buy, this saves the hassle of worrying about it or thinking about it. It just comes to you every 2 months and you get really nice, good quality toys for your kiddos. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about feeding. What are we on? Number 6? I think we're on 6 or 7. The next one is high chairs. So this is something we spent a lot of money on. We bought the Stoke Trip Trap chairs, and yes, they were very costly, but I don't regret it at all. I do think that we could have bought any other chair. We probably would have been really pleased with it. There's so many out there, but I love the look of it. It is one of the biggest things that is in our house on display all the time. It's very comfortable for the boys. They have a footrest, which I've heard is very important for newly weaning babies that are starting to eat. Sorry, I'm moving the camera a bit just to sort the light out. Yeah, I'm very comfortable that their feet can rest on a platform, because I feel I've read a lot about that being really good to minimize choking or gagging or anything like that. And yeah, they've just been so easy to clean. They come with covers that you can wash, take off and wash, or you can just use the actual chair and just wipe the chair down. So it's very simple. The tray comes off, so you can just completely put that in the sink and wash it. So in that way, it's been very, very practical, and I just love the overall aesthetic of it in the room, which is kind of a big thing for me. Sometimes we've got so much ugly stuff everywhere and so many kids things. It's 2 chairs that last a long time. I think it can take up to like 300 pounds of a person to sit in, and it alters. So as your child grows, you can keep moving it down and it lasts them till they're a full-grown adult. Definitely recommend that, even though it is a very expensive purchase. That's probably the most expensive thing we bought for the boys, actually. Okay, next up, another feeding thing, but this one, a very, very inexpensive one, is the little deck chair, high chairs that I bought the boys for traveling. These things have become so, so useful. I cannot tell you. We have used them in restaurants, outside, in the house when we travel down in all the Airbnbs, like everywhere. They're going to be little deck chairs for the beach eventually when the boys don't need them in the house anymore, or like out and about. I can't believe now that the boys are at an age where we take them to restaurants, so many places don't have high chairs, guys. Like, I'm blown away by that. I never knew it. So it's really good to have a backup option there. And if the high chairs are like a little bit questionable, or your children aren't used to them yet, these are really safe, and they strap around the chairs in multiple ways. And also they have the tray table, because we yet to have like placemats or anything for the boys, and a lot of places don't have those either. So it's a surface that you know is clean, you can keep clean, and you can feed your children off, because if we use a plate or a napkin or anything, it's just gone, it's on the floor. So we have to use some sort of surface that we know is clean. So this is the best option for us. So yeah, we're using these so much at the moment, and like I said, it's great to be able to take them outside to a park, to the beach, anything like that, anywhere that you want to maybe put them and have their own little seat. I think they were $30 on Amazon. Easy to clean, easy to transport. They fit in the bottom of the stroller so simply. So 100% recommend these, and if you're going traveling, these would be a great purchase. Okay, now we're getting on to a couple of things that I've bought recently for the boys. I think we're on number 9. I've lost count. But the walkers for the boys. I did talk about this in another video. We bought 2 different types of walkers. We originally bought one, the Jovi walker off Amazon. It was fantastic, but we soon realized that if one was in there, the other one was getting jealous. So we decided to forego the bouncy thing that goes in the door. Can't remember what they're called. And we got 2 walkers. I don't regret it one bit. The walkers have been so useful. Again, these are one of those items that they'll only use for a smaller period of time. But as I look back, they probably started going in them around 8 months, maybe 8 to 9 months, and they're still using them now at nearly 12 months. So you're going to get a good 4 months use out of them. The boys are insane in them now, to be honest. I am sort of slowly stopping putting them in there, because they are ruining all the what are they called, the bottom things on the wall in the house. They're just like chipping all the paint off and in the corners of the doors and stuff. So they're kind of becoming a no-go anymore, but they are using them to stand up and push them around themselves rather than sit in them. So they're helping them as like an aid in walking, and I'm sure soon they'll be walking. We don't need them anymore. But yeah, we got 2. We got the Jovi walker off Amazon and a Jeep one off Amazon because we thought it was cool, and I used to have a Jeep, so we thought it was funny. But the Jeep one really isn't as good. It's not as sturdy, the seat's not as good to kind of gauge your baby's height. Jovi has 3 levels, so it's really useful as they grow, and it just moves a lot easier. I've noticed that sometimes the Jeep, the wheels get stuck and stuff, and the boys cry. So definitely recommend the Jovi walker. It's about $100, I think. It does have a removable tray, so if you put toys or food or something on top of it, it's again very easy to clean. Okay, last but not least, we come to the playpen. Now, I was umming and ahhing whether to put this in here because it's not really a must-have, but then I feel like it is with twins. So it depends on your house layout, I guess, and whether you have a safe space or a safe room, but we definitely didn't, and we've moved. So we've been in multiple houses, and this thing, even though the boys do not love it, they hate going in there, they hate being shut in anything. It's been indispensable for me, like, to know that I can leave them for a minute in a safe space. I can't do that in any room because there's just a multitude of things that they seem to find or get their hands on, no matter how much you baby proof. It can never be 100% baby proof, but this, I know I can put them both in, and I can go to the toilet or go and cook something or go and do a job quickly and not worry. Even if they're crying, I know they're safe, and you could also put a monitor on them if you needed. But for me, the boys are just everywhere right now, and they're so fast, and they've found every little thing that they can. They find any little random screw on the floor. They're really into everything, so it's definitely worth knowing that there's somewhere safe. And also, this thing is portable, so you could put it outside when they're big enough to be in the house, and that's a safe space that you can have outside for them. And again, move it from room to room, whatever you need to do. But this has been, since they started crawling, so useful for us and so much needed. I can't remember how much it was, but it came from Amazon, so I'll link it down below. But we got the biggest one we could find because there's 2 of them. And yeah, for a while they were fine in it, and they used to play in it. I've spent hours and hours sitting in it. I can't even tell you how many hours, but we're finally out of the playpen and we're in the room. But it's become a barrier to the stairs now because the boys are obsessed with the stairs, as I've shown you in some of the videos. So yeah, it's been very useful, and I see many babies playing in these things quietly and enjoying it. So I don't know if it's just mine that hate being confined, but there's been moments where they've played nicely in there together, and it's definitely been useful. So yeah, I think that is everything that I wanted to mention, to be honest. If you've got any questions, please leave them below. If you are pregnant and you're wondering about an item and you want to ask me if I got one, please feel free to ask me. I'm always here looking at my comments, so I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, that's everything in this past year that I couldn't have lived without, really. More than essentials, it's things that, well, yeah, I guess essentials, because I could not have lived without those items. Everybody has their own experience, right? Depending what you buy will depend on what you rate good, but there's been a couple of things that I told you about that we would have changed or done differently, but on the whole, they've been great, all these things. So definitely recommend all of them. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If not, I will see you next time. Oh my god, the boys are gonna be 1 next week, so we're gonna have some birthday vlogs coming up soon, or some birthday videos. Very excited. But yeah, that's all for now. I'll see you next week.